Hello, I'm Renee, and you are watching Waylighter Life Tarot. So, Pisces, you are first up in the readings because you have the lunar eclipse coming up in your sign. I did just do a long video on thinking about that eclipse, and I hope that you will watch it because it has a great deal of information about Pisces. But let me just say, my friends who are quiet rebels, who are peaceful warriors, I know you. You have an amazing strength that a lot of times people don't see, or they can't perceive partly because you dive deep. You're out of sight of people a lot of times, and yet you're always felt. Your presence is incredibly significant. And I talked in that video about how the North Node has been in your sign for the last 18 months and what it is that we have learned. So I hope that you will watch that because what we learned in that 18 months of the North Node being in Pisces, we now are being asked to apply as the North Node moves into Aquarius and as we change our age altogether, meaning the time, not your age. All right, so let's get started with your reading today. What is it that Spirit would like to share with you? And I have here, this is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I am getting ready to do a sacred facilitation training with her that I'm really excited about. It aligns very closely with what Waylighters is about, which is creating a life from peace, from the sacred, and from always becoming. I'm a Pisces like you, and we are very aware that we are never finished, that there is an essence of us, and we allow the water to wash away what is not us. But that we are always becoming the way the water always flows. So enough philosophizing now. Let's see. I feel our cards are ready. Yeah. Okay. So you have first the Mystic Rose. See if I can get that there. Devotion, humility, humanity, and grace. That is a pretty good description of Pisces. Not a full description because there's strength there that this doesn't necessarily reflect, but this about holding, I can't see what that is. Honestly, right now to me, and I think that's important in terms of this is a reading, it almost looks like she's holding her heart in her hands. And then it sort of looks like a turtle, which is interesting as well, because the turtle in some indigenous cultures is about creating the world. It's a longer story, but just for this purpose, we'll just say it is about the creating of the world. And Pisces is definitely involved in creating this new world. All right, and it is blooming. So the mystic rose that we just saw in the last card is in bloom. Card does not want to show there. Well, you're going to have to trust me to describe it. It is really about someone that you're seeing a rose partially over their face. It is about creations realized and right timing and celebration. So the person looks like that they're caught in the midst of dancing. Not quite like this, but more like arms raised. Arms raised. Yeah, I'm Delulu. What can I say? Um, and lastly, we have the sun. So the person is celebrating. Boy, this just does not, these are definitely light reflecting cards. It is really it is more of like a geometric representation of a rose here with golden light everywhere. And it says joy, fun, life force, and play. And that, my friend, is a Leo card, if I ever saw one, with all this gold light and the kind of childlike joy and innocent fun. So we have here our mystic rose of humanity, and we have our individual joy and self. And that is truly what these eclipses are about this month, and heralding an ending of one cycle and a beginning of another cycle. So let's see what Source wants to clarify today. Source, what would you like for Pisces to know? Pisces has been really working on behalf of the collective even more than usual over these past 18 months. If you are feeling depleted and you're feeling tired, I would really say take as much time as you can. If that's 30 seconds, then take that. But if you could take 10 minutes twice a day, it would be amazing for restoring yourself. And just imagine that you are floating on the clouds or in the water, as the case may be. Something that works for you to think of as little as possible and just be in the current moment. And it's very restorative and restful. All right. Oop, that's it. Okay, so we have our cards. Justice, the 7 of coins, the 5 of cups, and the daughter of coins, which is the page of pentacles in this deck. You always have to think about it. This is the Ember and Aura deck. So first we have justice. So there is a balancing out, and there sure is. So we have, you can't get much more symbolic than this month of the sun and the moon, and they are going through a moment of equalization of light for each of them. And I love what I talked about the other day, which is that one of the Vedic stories is that Shiva is kissing the eye of Shakti for each of the eclipses. And in the moment when it's all completely dark and the light is equalized, that is when they blissfully are uniting, they are coming together. Beautiful. So just to make the point, we have on this card the sun and the moon. So we have the sovereignty in the middle, and I talked about that also in the Pisces eclipse video. You can see, I'll put it in the comments below, or excuse me, in the description box below. So balancing our day and our night creates this sovereignty for us. And not only for us, but justice is about the collective. So as we do this for ourselves, as within, so outside. I hate to say without because that's kind of confusing, but as inside us, so outside us. I like that sovereign crown there. I've never noticed that before. So next we have the 7 of coins. So you may be looking at what you've been doing and wondering, which of these things, and it looks like many things because there are 7 here, which of these things is bringing the most fruit? I can't continue to do everything that I've done and also add. And with the Leo eclipse, you will likely be asked to add something new, to do something new, or to do something you're doing now, but do it in a new way. So you may be saying, okay, well, I can't continue to do everything. And that is perfect. That is the perfect idea. Go there. And figure out what is it that you need to release so that you can make room for the new, or you can do something in a new way. And if it feels like you just can't possibly do it, just sit down and decide, if I had already done it, what did I do that made it work? It's just a way that the brain works sometimes, where if you accept that it's actually already done, then the brain thinks it's possible, and it will come up with the most creative ideas you've ever had. It's amazing. You have had some kind of disappointment, and it looks like that this disappointment is emotion. It is a relationship. It is something of the heart. It is either that you're being asked to let go of something. That's that 7 of Pentacles that we just looked at. You're being asked to either let go of something that's important to you, that has been maybe an identity marker for a long time, and you kind of hate to part with it, or you're being asked to, you're having some disappointment in love or a friendship, which is still to say love. You're being disappointed in some way, but this is learning. This is about learning. So there is a new path that you are on. The path is announcing itself. So pages are about messages. And if you're reading daughter, that's because in this deck it is page of Pentacles. There is something here that is about formal learning. It is scholarships or books or something that you're learning online. It could be self-driven, that you've just decided you want to know about something. But it is a path forward. And you're going to have to look again at what it is, what are the coins, the pentacles that you're able to sustainably keep, and which ones that you need to either replace or change. All right, more information, please, source. All right, we have 2 of Wands, the Tower, which is perfect for an eclipse, right? The Ace of Coins, boy, you're not only on a new path, but this is a completely fresh start. And the 3 of Wands. So this has to do, it looks as though this has to do with either a new way of life or a new career, because the 3 of Wands is about your ships coming in or expecting them to come in, and you are waiting to see exactly where the dust settles, or what is it that's going to come. All right, let's go back to the beginning. So modifying justice, you have the 2 of Wands. So there is Uh, you have the Two of Wands is about a decision. And I will just say that in this case, it shows a picture of a crossroads. See that? So the arrows cross, the wands cross right at, they make like a pinch in the road there. So you're at some type of crossroads. Now, my understanding is that Hecate, who is goddess of the crossroads, among other things, is definitely aspecting this eclipse. So there, you're at a choice point. The good news is that you have the choice to make. So the Two of Wands says that you have a decision to make. And this is about balance, because remember we said that this is modifying. Let's see if I can put them both together here in reverse. There we go. This is modifying your attempts to balance your days and nights. Could be that you need more rest. Could be that you're trying to figure out how to work. I hate the words work smarter, but let's just say it's more balanced for your life so that you're not continually depleting yourself. Could be some other form of balance, but it is an inflection point. For modifying the Seven of Coins, you have the Tower. So this eclipse is going to be what brings about this choice and having to figure out what is it that you need to change to make your life and your energy sustainable. Five of Cups and modified by the Ace of Coins. So it's hard to make this choice. You don't want to give it up. You don't want to make the change. But guess what? This really is a new path. And not only has the new path announced itself, okay, of a path, it looks like, of learning, but it is a fresh start. And with that fresh start, the beauty of it is that you're being told with this Ace of Coins, there is a tangible gift that comes with it. You're not simply being asked to dig deep and give more. There's a gift here. There's a gift for you. It may be from you to you, but it is nevertheless a gift. And Source is bringing in some type of resource to be so that you can do this. I love this, and I love the little saplings that are around it, as well as the big tree. So this is about growth. This is not simply a one and done path, but it is something that is going to put down roots and that will carry forward into the future. And we know that because we have the sign of the ship coming in, the Three of Wands. It's making a living in a new way, living your life in a new way. And I love the giant sun there it's like the sun is coming up on this new path. Like, that is beautiful. So there's possibly some disappointment for you coming, but with it is a beautiful new way of life. It is within your control. You have say over what happens and how it happens, and the resources maybe suddenly, because there's a tower moment, you may suddenly be offered resources that you didn't expect. So I promised in the Pisces eclipse message that I would talk in each of the zodiac readings about what role that sign might play in the overall collective transition right now, both to a new North Node, but also because that North Node in Aquarius is now an entirely new age. And so what does that mean? Well, we've seen an explosion of life coaching. We now are seeing psycho-spiritual counselors. We are seeing spiritual coaching. And I think that those will continue, and we will see new types of crossover positions. We have seen equine therapy and others who are bringing nature in some way to healing. Those will continue, and Pisces are so good at that. The other thing, though, that is maybe more business oriented than specifically spiritually oriented is that you are excellent at seeing where we've put artificial boundaries down. So if you are in business, you might find that if you work in mergers, that you can help people come to appreciate each other's perspectives where maybe it's been hard for them, or conflict negotiation. You may be able to imagine what it's like to sit in the other person's seat and to see with their eyes and to describe that. You may be someone who can do that same thing, but through energy work. And I do believe that we will continue to bring energy work forward in the new era. I don't see how we could not. So, in some way, you are using your incredible sensory capacity, your capabilities on behalf of the collective in more tangible ways. We've already seen that start to happen, as I said, in those roles that I described. There will be other new ones. And then lastly, it may be that some of you start to talk about how you see life more. Just share your perspective. Your perspective, no matter what the arena, uh, you have a way of viewing things that is different. So the hanged one, right? The fresh perspective. And people really value that. People probably say to you frequently, like, oh, I never thought of it that way. You have a different way of looking at things. And they value it. So, whatever it is that your career is now, you could start doing more of that and offering your perspective. And then watch for signs, follow your heart, and see where it is that it is leading you. Because Pisces will continue to be an absolutely vital part of this transition from the 5D world to the 3D world of Aquarius. All right. I will talk with you soon, Waylighters. Sending you many blessings. Take care.